Summer is the perfect time to explore Portland's inner districts on Biketown e-bikes or scooters. Biketown also recently expanded to Selwood, so you can now ride from the Steel Bridge to Selwood Bridge along our beautiful waterfront with access to the best river swimming spots. All you gotta do is pick out a bike and use the Biketown or Lyft app to scan its QR code. Then you hop on and you start your ride. Plus, new riders can use CityCast 25 for a free unlock. Just don't forget your helmet.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about why the director for Multnomah County's Preschool for All abruptly resigned, Mayor Keith Wilson's executive order to comply with the Trump administration mandates on diversity, equity, and inclusion, the Portland Pickles lawsuit against Disney, and so much more. Joining me on this midweek roundup is our very own executive producer, John Notarianni. And if you stick around after our show, you'll hear a volunteering opportunity brought to us by Metropolitan Family Service. It's Wednesday, August 6th. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Welcome, everyone, to our semi-weekly microdose of news in the form of a midweek roundup. John, thanks for joining me this morning.
Good morning, Claudia. Excited to get into it.
It's been a while since I've done one of these.
Yeah. We keep missing each other. Like one of us has been off every week. We've done a midweek roundup for like the last 2 months.
I know. Gosh, I wonder if people even know that I host.
I wonder if people know who I am. What is this podcast we're listening to? What is this show?
People are just like, who are these yahoos talking at me? For this midweek catch-up, we've decided to do our now very popular news lightning round. Mm-hmm. This is where we give each other basically 1 minute to quickly and succinctly explain the major plot points of a local headline before we pause for further discussion. And we do time each other. It's deceptively hard. Like you're just like, a minute, I got it. Yeah. But the goal is to have you, our listeners, walk away with 4 big stories you might have missed this past week. John, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm ready. Count me in.
Okay, go.
All right. Former city commissioner and mayoral candidate Renee Gonzalez is getting about $11,000 in fines returned to him. Those were fines that were imposed last year by the city auditor for alleged campaign finance violations, specifically using taxpayer money to edit his Wikipedia page and accepting campaign contributions above the city's limits. Gonzalez appealed the fines, and a Multnomah County Circuit Court judge didn't decide whether he had violated the rules exactly, but did say he had been denied his constitutional right to due process because he didn't have a hearing before those fines went into effect. The city now has to return the money to Gonzalez. The decision could also force changes to Portland's election enforcement rules.
10 seconds.
And Renee Gonzalez says he's happy.
I know you had like 3 more sentences. You heard you have 10 seconds and you were just like, and he's happy.
I'm out.
I love it. Good job, by the way.
Claudia, I literally practiced for this episode. I learned my lesson last time. I'm getting cut off mid-flow.
I will say, just if anyone's listening, and you're just like, who's this man, Renee Gonzalez? As John was saying, he used to be our commissioner. He ran for mayor, and he was on the news a lot. He just kept getting caught for doing stuff. The Wikipedia editing was particularly hilarious, I gotta say. He was trying to make himself look better for the election. Mm-hmm. So Portlanders then helped him out. And for a few days, his Wikipedia just had the most insane things because anyone could edit those. So he was like a winner of a breakdancing competition, which he never was, of course.
According to Wikipedia. Yeah.
Yes, so many ridiculous things. Did you see what his lawyer said afterwards?
Yeah, his lawyer basically said that it was, and I'm paraphrasing here because I don't have it in front of me, but something like ending the harassment that moderate Democrats are facing in Portland from the extreme left.
Yeah.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah. His lawyer is also named Peter Gabriel. That is all.
All right, Claudia, you ready for me to count you in?
Sure.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. This headline comes from the Oregonian, based on reporting by Willamette Week. Leslie Barnes, the director of Multnomah County's Preschool for All program, resigned after Willamette Week reported last week that she was the owner of one of 4 providers a state audit identified as wastefully spending grant funds from Preschool Promise. That's a state-funded program meant to provide childcare to at-need families. Barnes had collected over $800,000 in state funding for her preschool village childcare back in 2020 to last through the 2023 school year. The money was to fund 63 Preschool Promise seats. Records show she had only enrolled 9. Just to clarify, this has nothing to do with Multnomah County's Preschool for All program, but it doesn't look great since she was running it, a program that is already under a lot of scrutiny for its own spending practices and low enrollment.
Beautiful. 56 seconds. Very nicely done.
So, doesn't look good.
Yeah, this is so frustrating. It's more than just like bad optics. I worry that a controversy like this can potentially hurt like legitimate operators, right? Like there are schools that are doing great work and like really, really helping kids. And I would just hate to see this be some sort of like referendum on these types of programs. If they're like, well, look at this one that's wasteful. And then all the people who are actually doing great work end up getting dinged on it down the road.
Yeah. And again, these were 4 operators that the state auditor found was, wastefully spending their money, again, has nothing to do with Multnomah County's Preschool for All program, which is something we all voted for. And it is a tax for high-income earners, which is supposed to provide preschool for all by 2030. A lot of people are kind of upset with how it's been rolled out. So the fact that she was running it is just not great. So I don't know. I think that there still should be maybe a little look-see with how the program was running if she was running it.
Yeah, I would be surprised if there wasn't a little bit more investigating that went into this.
Well, John, you're next.
All right, I'm ready to go.
All right, go.
All right. A lot of people are talking about this executive order that Mayor Keith Wilson issued last week requiring city employees to comply with President Trump's new DEI-related mandates. You might remember the president put together a law that blocks federal funding for entities that maintain DEI programs. Wilson was like, hey, look, there could be a lot of penalties if we don't comply, civil or criminal consequences for officials, but also the city relies on $350 million in federal grants. So yeah, he issued this executive order. It's a little bit too early to say what the impact is, but some initial estimates say 13 positions in the Office of Equity and Human Rights could be affected, potentially as many as 75 different city programs as well.
10.
The mayor is reiterating support for marginalized groups, but despite that, a lot of local groups and lawmakers are really upset about this decision.
All right, just a second over. Not bad.
Not bad.
Not bad. Yeah. I think a lot of people are upset with him because they wanted him to fight, but I don't understand how he's supposed to fight.
Yeah.
Like, what are the solutions to not lose funding?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is an issue that's been boiling on a lot of fronts, right? Because we do have an administration in Washington, D.C. that is eager to yank funding. And, we look at some of the other, maybe not cities, but other institutions across the country that are in hot water right now. It definitely is a tightrope. But I also sympathize with people who are mad, who feel like this is like a kowtowing to the Trump administration.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's got a city to run. We have no money already internally.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Portland, not at the top of Trump's favorite cities list.
I think it does bear repeating, though. Like, we don't really know what this means. Like, the whole thing is very mushy and vague. And, like, potentially this won't have a lot of effect. We just don't know yet.
I do see, though, why it also upset more people is because he was very public being like, what makes Portland amazing is our diversity. And he like put out the statement before. And then in like a month or two later, he's just like, we're not going to be doing much about that because so I can see why people are just like, excuse me.
For sure.
All right. You want to time me for my big one?
Yes, a very, very important one. Perhaps the most pivotal news story of the week. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
So earlier this year, Pixar Animation Studio released an original series about a middle school co-ed softball team named the Pickles. The logo and colors of the team looked pretty much exactly like the Portland Pickles logo. So in May, the Portland Pickles, not the Disney ones, sued Disney claiming trademark infringement. And it was reported earlier this week that a settlement of an unspecified amount had been reached, and it is in the works. So my question now is, do the Portland Pickles now have enough money to buy us an MLB team? And wouldn't that be amazing? Now that is a Disney story.
38 seconds. I have an alternate take. My pick is Dylan T. Pickle enters the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh. Yeah, both. Yeah, we get an MLB team and we see Dylan T. Pickle on the big screen as he deserves to be.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, we're digging into our mailbag. If you haven't been to the Oregon Museum of Science and Industry yet this summer, now is the time, because you can see over 50 large-scale Jurassic World dinosaurs, props, and scenes made from over 6 million Lego bricks. Jurassic World by Brickman is open only until September 1st, and having gone myself, I can attest to the meticulous recreations. Plus, the exhibition gives Lego and Jurassic World fans opportunities to put their creativity and engineering skills to the test. There's building activities like creating new dinosaurs, habitats, and even building an escape vehicle to get away from a T-Rex. Hurry to see this can't-miss exhibit before it closes on September 1st. Learn more at omsi.edu. That's omsi.edu. I am so excited to tell you about the North Coast Express. That's the new seasonal transit option connecting Portland to the most iconic destinations on the Oregon North Coast. On top of just getting to sit back and relax since you're not driving, all buses include free Wi-Fi and charging ports, onboard restrooms, panoramic windows and reclining seats, wheelchair-accessible lifts, and you can grab the bus from the Sunset Transit Center Fridays through Sunday through the end of August. There's flexible return day ticketing, which lets you choose between a spontaneous day trip or a longer coastal stay. For more information like tickets, schedules, and the full route, go to visittheoregoncoast.com/express. That's visittheoregoncoast.com/express. If you're a home DIYer like me, you might have a few leftover paint cans gathering dust in your basement. Or maybe your house already came with a bunch of them like mine did. So I'm happy to share that Paint Care makes recycling your leftover paint, stain, and varnish simple and easy with convenient drop-off locations as close as your local hardware store. Paint Care has 3 simple rules for painting smarter. 1, buy the right amount of paint for the job. 2, use up leftover paint. And 3, recycle the rest. If you visit paintcare.org/3 simple rules, you'll find tips on how to do all 3. Buying the right amount of paint for your project, exploring DIY ideas for how to use up leftover paint, and also just look up the nearest drop-off site in your neighborhood. Paint Care is all about keeping it simple for Oregonians. All right, we're jumping in here. And John, these first couple of notes here are on the same topic, which is cursing.
Our foul-mouthed tendencies.
So Kara wrote, "What is the throwing out of the F word like confetti today? More judicious use would be appealing." And I was like, what is she talking about? And I believe she was speaking about the last Friday roundup we did with Brianna Wheeler.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, just from memory, I was like, I don't even know how much. I don't think we curse that much. And then we got another email from a Lori that wrote, "Hey there, I'm here because Willamette Week encouraged me to listen to your show. I'm appreciating the content. What I don't understand is why your show has to include," and then she couldn't even write it out. She just wrote F asterisk asterisk little up arrow so much. And then she wrote, "It also makes me very uncomfortable to play it when I'm around mixed generations or in a workplace environment." And then she sweetly wrote, "I look forward to future episodes." Mm-hmm. So 2 notes, John. I went back, I listened to the episode, and I gotta say, John, I don't know what was going on. It was nonstop F-bombs, and I don't want to throw Brianna Wheeler under the bus, but I have a feeling that when she's on the show, you and I get very comfortable.
We get a little bit saltier. I remember taping that episode. I remember editing that episode and being like, woo, we are getting salty today. I mean, and it was all of us. It is not like one of the 3 of us.
Oh, no.
To be thrown under the bus there. I was dropping him too. Yeah.
No. I'm just saying that I noticed that when we have certain guests you and I tend to let our hair down a little more.
Exactly, yeah.
But here's the deal. We want everyone to listen to our show and feel like it is a space for them as well. So immediately you're concerned about playing this around mixed generations or in a workplace environment. Know that anytime there are curse words on our show, there is an E on the episode. So you'll know it's E for explicit. That gives you a heads up like, hey, there's going to be cursing. So just know that. Keep that in your back pocket. But 2, John, what do you think if we allow each other 1 F-bomb an episode? 3, 1 each for the Friday roundup. But when Brianna's on, we could just give ours to her. Because we don't want to impede Brianna. Brianna can be Brianna. So she can get 3, and we say golly, fricassee,
I will be on my squeakiest gosh frickin' behavior next time that Brianna's on the show. I think that's fair.
All right.
All right. Well, I've got one based on a conversation we had, I think on that same episode about fairies. Claudia, we know that you are a big fan of fairies.
Love them.
And I will specify fairies that are boats, not fairies that are little mystical creatures.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Important context. We got this message from Craig S. Hey, Claudia, regarding ferries, I grew up on an island in the Puget Sound, Salish Sea, and took a ferry to school each school day for middle and high school. I spent more than 2,000 hours on ferries during that time. I can confirm that ferries are freaking great for about the first 90 days. After that, they sadly get boring. The logistics are tedious. It's been over 35 years since I moved to Portland, and I still occasionally have anxiety dreams about missing the ferry and watching it pull away as I run down the dock. I'm happy to be in Portland, where running 5 minutes late is no big deal.
Oh, man, that does sound so stressful. But it is, imagine, because going to school is already the worst, like early morning, well, for me anyhow, and then you're running, and then you're like, the whole freaking ferry is gone, and you're like, oh, and you can't even drink. That sounds terrible, Craig.
I know. You really need that cocktail on the ferry to get you to elementary school.
Well, I have another one here from Emily C. about the naked bike ride episode. And I think it was you spoke to Rachel Saslow from Willamette Week.
Yeah.
And she was reporting on the, I wouldn't say dueling, but now there are 2 naked bike rides as opposed to 1.
And I will say the second one, the World Naked Bike Ride Portland, is coming up this Saturday. If you missed the last naked bike ride, you got another one coming.
Oh, man. Well, here is what Emily C. has to say about that. That naked bike ride is all fun and games, boobs and butts, ? Until the route passes your house. It's so sorry, Lori and Kara, this is not me. This is Emily C. It is so fucking loud and loud for hours. You try to sleep through that shit. I was like, I will not.
There is like a certain pain and frustration of trying to do something responsible and go to sleep and being kept up by the sound of like genuine revelry, of people like genuinely having a good time, because you're cranky, but then you feel like an asshole for being cranky, which makes you more cranky.
Oh, yeah.
I know that feeling, Emily C. I feel you.
Oh, man. Well, now there's 2 of them, Emily C. So
yeah. Hopefully the Saturdays doesn't make it past your house. Hopefully they have a different route so you can get some sleep.
Oh, man.
Well, I've got one more comment about our recent conversation with Street Roots editor Kay Rambo. We talked with Kay about sweeps in Portland of camps and the sort of increase in homeless deaths that we've seen over the last several years. We got a couple notes on this topic. This one is from Scott H. Scott said, as always, great work on your recent interview with Kay Rambo about our homeless death rate in Portland. It was a very sobering conversation. Something that stuck out was Rambo's comments about the city misleading the public about what happens during these sweeps. And then Scott went into sort of quoting what the notice is that's shown after a campsite is reported. And then Scott comes back. I would have taken provide resources to mean that opportunity for shelter or alternatives was provided, but now I have significant questions about that. While I understand Kay Rambo's description of camp removals as solving aesthetic issues, I do think it goes beyond that. In my neighborhood, there is an encampment that pops up often right on the street, right next to the yards of 2 houses. There's often drug use occurring, and the road can be significantly narrowed, which is unsafe when it gets dark. I think my neighbors wanting to have that encampment removed is beyond an aesthetic need. And people feeling safe in their neighborhoods is a totally reasonable ask, but I also absolutely do not want my homeless neighbors to be pushed around in ways that only destabilize their lives. I guess this just highlights the difficulty of balancing the conversations around this issue.
Well said, Scott.
Yeah, I think it's well said. It is just a deeply, deeply complicated topic. And we did get a number of responses on this episode, ranging from strong-throated agreement to really pushing back on it as well.
Yeah. I have something a bit more on the other side of an issue here from Nathan C., a response to the same show. Kara and Lori, I will be bleeping myself on some of these because there is a lot of passion here. He wrote, "It grinds my gears whenever I hear homeless advocacy community blatantly ignoring the cost of allowing free for all camping. I would like people to work downtown and heck, even choose to spend money downtown. I would like those people to choose walking and transit where possible because we are in a climate emergency. Let me tell you, it's really effing hard to make that case when the city doesn't sweep. Consider my walking commute over Burnside Bridge and through downtown. Parkour over the sidewalk, completely blocked by tents, step over the needles, trash, and shit, hold my breath to avoid inhaling smoke and or sun-baked urine, walk all the way past the bike and bus lane and into the vehicle traffic lane if the camp has been left too long because the debris expands continuously. Sometimes I take the stairs to avoid this, but often it is a makeshift drug den. Once I'm downtown, I get to dodge unhinged people lunging and screaming at me. Yes, it merely feels unsafe when someone gets in your face and tells you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. More urine, more tents, more random fires. I don't like shitting on downtown because it has gotten so much better almost continuously over the last 2-3 years, primarily due to sweeps, and I want people to come back. The advocates who want to turn their back on that progress, who deny the hugely disproportionate impact that a tiny portion of the population have on everyone else, can get, and then he said effed, John. I mean, that's a lot of frustration.
Yeah, I get that people like Nathan C. are really mad about this situation. But, once it curdles to a point that your anger gets you to a point where you can't see the humanity in other people, I think that's a negative place to get to.
I will say, though, we are saying this from two people who work from home, don't have to commute downtown, don't have to do all the things that Nathan has been saying that he's been going through. We have not been ground down to this point. So I feel for Nathan. At the same time, it is hard to ignore that this is a crisis.
I will say we're keeping the conversations going on this. Tomorrow, Claudia, on the show, we have Brandy Westerman, who's the city's emergency humanitarian operations director, who has a really interesting perspective on the homelessness crisis.
I know, because I spoke to her.
I am not telling you because you forgot the interview that we taped yesterday.
I asked questions.
Claudia, I hate to let you know, people are listening to this conversation right now.
I was there, John.
But yeah, that comes out on our feed tomorrow.
Yeah, I really actually enjoyed talking to her. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. I also really enjoy reading these comments. When you write in, know that we will, unless you say otherwise, we will be reading these out loud. We're not judging anyone. When you email us, we're all trying to figure this out together.
Totally.
Hit us up at portland@citycast.fm. If there's anything else you'd like to add, John?
See y'all at the Pickles game tomorrow night.
That's right. We are going to be presenting the last Pickles game before playoffs, which is Keep Portland Weird Night.
Heck yeah.
The Dandy Warhols are going to be there. We still don't know at what capacity, but they will be there. They're going to be therapy llamas. There's going to be the Unipiper. There's also going to be baseball.
Yeah, it's going to be a hoot. We'll be there too.
All right. Well, thanks again, John, for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks, Claudia.
Stick around because in just a second, we've got a segment sponsored by Metropolitan Family Service where I chat with Marushka Lynch, their community engagement coordinator, about some upcoming volunteering opportunities. So Marushka, you're here to drum up volunteers to tutor elementary students in the East Portland, Gresham area. But before we get into how people can sign up and all that, I need to ask, what is Metropolitan Family Service?
Metropolitan Family Service is a community-based nonprofit organization. We've been around for 75 years. So MFS currently has over 20 different programs serving the community from, preschool, helping parents with parenting tips, after school care, hunger relief, economic support, rides for older adults, and tutoring of kids. So all over from the beginning of life to older adults, we really do kind of provide support for everyone.
Oh, cool. I have to ask, since we're asking our listeners to go, I just got to make sure it's legit. Mariska, I don't want to send them to some sort of coal mine. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
no,
what's
no.
happening. This program in particular that we're looking for volunteers, like, how does this work?
Well, so the program that you and I are talking about today is AARP Foundation Experience Corps. And most people have heard of AARP. It's the organization supporting older adults in the country. And they have a foundation arm that helps get resources to older adults and also engages older adults in volunteering because they have a wealth of knowledge and experience and time that is incredible to tap into. And that's what they do. They have like a tax prep program and the tutoring program. And they partner across the country with community-based organizations to bring that program into the schools. Because we know the community, we know the people. So they partner with us to do that here in Portland. And we find the volunteers, train them, support them, and get to see our students thrive. So it's really a great partnership.
It's really cool that it's like two communities that are getting simultaneously helped or supported.
Yeah.
But it's very like symbiotic. But also, I mean, it's essentially a tutoring program for children, for like school-age kids, that they're just like, hey, this is the year that they need to learn to read or else their like whole life is slightly, I mean, I'm laughing, but it's true. It's like statistically, they don't have a good step forward. Their comprehension isn't up to here.
I mean, on both ends, both children and older adults are sort of forgotten in our societies. It's sad to me because I think intergenerational connections are the key to a thriving community. Our kids are struggling more and more with academics, reading especially. English is hard, and older adults are increasingly isolated, increasingly ignored, and increasingly we don't have these sort of grandparent connections, either because people live far or other things. And so our tutors often crave that connection. They want to be helping kids, and they also want to be part of something. There's something magical about that intergenerational connection. It's why our program works. The kids improve, and the older adults have a sense of purpose and community with our program.
Right. And you're celebrating 30 years of Experience Corps, which is this program. I'm assuming there are many success stories. Does anything come to mind, just like, oh, I remember this child or volunteer and like how this really changed their life?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I could tell stories for hours, and I remember one of my tutors telling me how he had a new student, and the student was quite shy. It took them some time to warm up. The student felt sort of, I feel like, embarrassed that they couldn't read, but they were an English language learner, and our tutor said, you know how to read in your native tongue. You are a reader. You're now just practicing to read in English. And maybe you can help me learn some words in Russian. So every day they would practice with our program. And then at the end, she would teach him a word in Russian. So he now has like a whole notebook with words that he's been learning from her. And she has reached her goal. She's a reader. Aww. She has great comprehension, and he is incredibly joyful about this and has this notebook that, he shows me and is just so happy about that. And so these connections are real, and they're making a real impact both on our tutors and on our students.
Yeah, that community support for sure. Well, let's get to the reason we're here, getting this program more volunteers. So what kind of time commitment are you asking for?
Oh, yeah. We are hoping that tutors can commit to 2 days a week for about 2 to 3 hours, because they sit with each student for about half an hour. And typically we partner you with 4 students. The training is about 2 days, some asynchronous online, some in person. So you really get to touch the materials and practice and really get confident in what you're doing.
And now let's talk about the volunteers themselves. Like, what are the qualities that you're seeking. I just want someone to listen and go, oh, that's me.
Yeah.
I'm 100% qualified for this.
Really, what we want is for you to be dependable, if you make this commitment, to show up and be willing to learn. You're going to learn a lot of new things. You're going to learn how to take notes online. You're going to learn all kinds of things. So your willingness to learn has to be there. And that really is sort of the main thing. You don't have to have any experience. We'll give you the tools, and have a love for kids. You'll enjoy it if you enjoy being around kids.
Yeah, don't volunteer if you hate children.
Yeah,
don't do that.
Don't do that to yourself.
Don't do that to the kids.
There's lots of other amazing things you can volunteer for. Yeah.
And is there like an age requirement? Like you have to be a certain age since it is part of like the AARP umbrella?
Yeah, typically 50 plus. We have some flexibility with this Oregon Department of Education grant to bring you in as a community volunteer. But our focus really is on AARP Experience Corps. So 50 plus is the magic number, but we can talk if you're younger.
Well, if someone's listening right now and going, yep, that's me, I could do this.
Yeah.
What's the best way to get involved? What's the best way to reach you guys?
Well, you can actually look at our website, mfspdx.org, and find our program. And we have some webinars coming up. You can give me a call directly at 503-290-9427. Or you can email me at maruskaL@mfs.email, and I'll hook you up.
Nice. And it's Maruska. I've been saying Marushka this whole time. I'm so
you
sorry.
You said my name correctly, but when you spell it, that does not exist in English.
Okay, yeah. I was like, oh no.
If you try to put the in my email, it's going to go into some trash.
Well, Marushka, thank you for being here. Again, check out mfspdx.org. And the program is Experience Corps. If you want to learn more, we'll have that link for you in our show notes as well. So you're just a click away. Thanks again, everyone, for listening. And thank you so much, Marushka, for all your work. And I hope we get you some volunteers.
Yeah. Do you want to volunteer, Claudia?
Do you want me to volunteer?
Yeah, come over.
Okay. You're like, you're 65, right? Yeah, okay.
Oh, wait. We've been around for 30 years. We can wait a few more and have you after. We can talk. I have connections.
Okay. Well, that's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.